Hi everyone, Minla Israel here. Thank you so much for being here during my live stream. I greatly appreciate your support. I've pre-recorded this so that we can have some of the behind the scenes done while you listen to me for just a moment. I again want to thank you so very much for being here during my live stream. If you could, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends so that they can come join us. And if you will also give me a comment in the comment section after this video is done, and then definitely speak up in the chat and say hi. Lastly, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Now, if you're watching this as a replay, generally, if you're on a computer, you can go down below and look for the little gear. You can change that and make the speed faster. If you're on a mobile device, look up in the corner, up in this area for three little dots, and you can change the speed there as well. Those of you that are here live, do definitely speak up in the chat. I greatly appreciate you being here. Well, those that are here live earn a virtual currency. Junkie Joe should be coming up here in just a moment, and you'll be able to check how many bucks that you have. What are bucks? They're junk bucks. It's just a virtual point system that I have created on my account when we're live so that you can redeem those once you get to 2,000 for a $10 off coupon to my shop. So you can type exclamation point bucks to see how many that you have. And if you have 2,000 and you're ready for a coupon code, type exclamation point award, and my official note takers will take down that information. Now, if you haven't already created an account on my website at lindaisrael.com, please do so, and then send me a message through the contact form letting me know what your YouTube username is. Why? So I'll have your email address and I can email you your coupon code. Also, if you make a donation throughout this live stream, you can be added to my YouTube donators membership that I have on my website. So again, create an account, say, hey, Linda, I donated, and tell me what your username is on YouTube if it's different. That way I can get you added to that. At the end of this stream, I will have journals made, and you will have the opportunity to win one of those journals. Throughout the live stream, we'll have some various raffles, and we also have in-chat games. So be looking out for that in the chat, and I'll kind of speak it up when I get to it. For example, if you type exclamation point raffle, right now you can be in a chance to win 200 junk bucks. So you'll be well on your way to getting 2,000 junk bucks. Normally, Robin is my official note taker. Sometimes Angelica is my official note taker. It kind of depends on what's going on. These are members and administrators of my Facebook group, the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. If you haven't joined that group, we'd love to have you come and join us over there. What else? Let's keep the chat upbeat, friendly, and helpful. Hey, if you have a question, try to put it in all caps. That way I'll see it. If I don't see it, please don't be offended. The chat sometimes moves fast, and I'm usually looking down trying to create things. So please ask again. But if you know the answer that someone else's question, please go ahead and answer for them. I greatly appreciate that. Let's see, what else? Oh, if you have a YouTube channel, you can't post your link, but you can say, I have a YouTube channel, and tell us a little bit about it. Tell us your channel name, something like that. Tell us what you do. We're going to get started here in just a moment. I'm looking at the time. So roughly 5 minutes is when I'll get started. So it should be just a few more seconds. So definitely hang out in the chat, and we'll get started here in just a moment. Hello, hello, hello. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I hope you are well. I've got some goodies here. I am going to be making a Paris themed junk journal using the Take Me to Paris, sorry, Take Me to Paris. And then, oh, I forgot the name of the other one and I just had it here a minute ago. There was Dreaming of Paris. That was a journal kit that Narella made as a threshold. I can't remember if it's when we got to 15,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 members inside the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. You can still get that kit. You just need to be a member of the group and then you can get the link there. No, she did it, Giovanna. She also has some add-on printables, but what I used today was some elements from the Enchanted Rose journal kit. I also used some elements from the Shabby Chic journal pages. I think that's what they are. That's the name of it. And then I also use a page because I really like it. Actually, I used two from Her Allure. I love this background page that Narella has. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I thought I used it today. Here. So this is from Her Allure. And this page is from Her Allure. And I just love the bright colors, and I thought it blended well with the Shabby Chic as well as with the Dreaming of Paris. So I hope you like what I did today. Basically, someone last week, and I have forgotten who said it, but they said please do a Paris kit, Paris journal, Paris themed, and so that's what we're going to do today. I have not planned the pages. I made a bunch of pages that are already done, so we'll go over those in a little bit. I'll tell you about them. And then I thought we would just kind of use some bits and pieces that I have here to make a journal page. Oh, thank you, Robin, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll also be using some rubber stamps. Like this one is a stamp from Beeline Designs, and I've got some stencils set over here. We're just going to do a little bit of thing. All right, so when I was working, I had a problem. I had water spill. I don't know if you can see the water ruined some of my pages. So I was like, crap, what do I do? And I decided that what I would do is just tear, rip, cut around, like this one got wet here, and make something else. So this one had a wet spot on this side of the page, and I cut it off, and I found this envelope. I thought what we could do is attach the envelope to this side of the page so that basically you have this page and then this will be a page in our journal. So let's decorate this page here. I have a napkin here. I have some scraps of paper that I thought we could use. What else do I have here? I have some other little scraps from Norella's kits. So I thought we would just kind of play around with this. So I thought what I would do first, let's do some stenciling and maybe even spray some Tattered Angels on here. Now this is a new envelope that's crinkled. It's got some wrinkles on it. So I'm not going to seal it shut. I've got some, this is Pretty Pink Tattered Angels Glimmer Mists. Hey Connie, welcome. Margie and Norma and Sam and Ashley and Giovanna and Robin, of course. So I've got some Tattered Angels. This one is called Pretty Pink, and I'm going to spray that kind of all over this envelope just to give it a little bit of color. I will use my heat tool here to dry it. Hello, Julie. Yeah, I mean, just use it anyway. You know, cut off that piece, grab an envelope. That's kind of what I thought I would do today, was kind of show you, all right, we had an oopsie, how do we fix it? And so basically, many of the pages that were pre-printed got wet. So I ended up going through them and figuring out ways to cover up the problem or cut off the problem. Fold the problem, fix the problem. All right, so I've got my envelope, And I think what I'll do next, let's do some stenciling. This is the Flowers and Vines. It's a new stencil that I have in my shop. And I'm going to grab the Picked Raspberry. And let's add just a little bit of stenciling.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Shut up, Alexa. She's been speaking out of turn too many times lately. Okay, I like that. Just kind of adding a little pattern. We may or may not see it all. I am just applying what I think that I want, what I might see when we're done, okay? So don't get hung up on, well, this has to have perfect placement, because right now we're just basically giving ourselves a little bit of a background, okay? So just kind of put a little subtle pattern on here. Yeah, I guess she got told. Well, whenever we talk about her, we don't use a very pretty term. We call her the bee in the box. And we'll say, well, I guess she decided to speak up today. All right, so now I want to add some stamping to this. And I've got a couple of Beelines designs. This is the McGinnis de Minulbas. I don't know. This one right here. And then maybe some of these other smaller ones. I'm going to grab this bigger one. And we'll stamp it. I think we'll do a sepia tone with that. So I'm not even going to stamp it perfectly. I'm just going to kind of add a little bit here and there. And I am decorating the envelope flap on the inside just a little bit, just because when you open it, you'll see it. Okay. All right. So I did that one. And I've got this little one. This is Plaquette Small. Plaquettes. Plaquette Small. If you go to my link that I shared in the description box, it says basically Paris themed stamps. Okay. I think I also want to let's get the dress form. I know I saw it. Nope, not a big enough block. I need a bigger block. All right, so let's stamp this guy, gal, woman, right here. So that'll kind of show up a little bit. And let's put her right about there. That'll be kind of cool. All right. Maybe. I do have an Eiffel Tower. I'm going to stamp it on the flap. So it kind of looks like it was over both pieces. And let's stamp it right here. All right, so I think I have my preliminary stamping done. I may or may not do any more, but I think now what I need is my mixed media mat, or one of them. Almost had a catastrophe, but I caught it. All right, so I've got a little mixed media mat here. I'm going to grab a couple of things, which is my glue. Call it my glue pot. All right, so I'm looking at this napkin, and I think what I want to do is just kind of tear apart this butterfly. So this is a napkin that I have removed all the layers, so all I have is this one layer. And I think what I'll do is we'll put a piece like that across there. I think that would look good. So I'm going to put down a little bit of glue. Basically, it's just Aleene's tacky glue, and I like using a paintbrush. So I'm just going to brush over this. Now, if you're worried about your Distress Oxides moving, I'm not, because I don't really care. But if that bothers you and you want it to not move whenever you put a wet medium over it, spray it with some workable fixative. Let it dry, and then you don't have to worry about it moving when we add a liquid like water or glue. I'm just trimming off that piece. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. I think I want to put this little butterfly across the bottom here. Maybe like right here. Yeah, let's do that. You were just going to ask what the square thing is? That's glue. It's glue. It's just Aleene's tacky glue and a sponge in an airtight container. And I will add a little bit of water to it and glue to it before I close it up. All right, I think I'm done with that napkin for right now. I did have this piece, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to use it. And I think what I want to do is maybe put part of it on here. I don't think it has to have pockets all the way around. So I'm just applying some Distress ink. Maybe like that. I'll go ahead and use my glue pot. So this time I'm going to glue the paper. All right, to make sure my envelope's not going to get stuck shut. Okay, I like that. I think that just kind of gives us a little bit of a decoration on our envelope. And I think that part of it's done. I think what I want to do now is attach it to the page. So let me look at what I have here. So I have this edge that I cut off because it got wet up to that point. So add a little bit of Distress ink. And I just realized I didn't add any Distress ink to the envelope. So let's go around that edge. How is everybody? Y'all be good? I don't have a lot of Paris items. I do have the rubber stamps because of Beeline Designs. And last year I did a Paris themed journal, but I had restrictions. It was a suggestion and they wanted me to use it, but don't add a bunch of pink and don't make it super frilly. So it was a little bit of a challenge, and I did that. So I'm kind of glad someone said, hey, why don't you do a Paris themed one? Because this way I get to make it a little bit more frilly, if you will. I do have this guy that I thought would be kind of cute as a closure. So I think that's what I'll do, is I'll put that here. And I want to glue this piece down. Cheap envelopes. All right, so I'm just going to put glue across the bottom here. And yes, I'm not using this envelope in the direction that you would see it if you mailed something. Okay, I like that. So I'm trying to decide, do I want to put it here and then have that on this side? Or do I want it... So I can't come out too far. What I might do is cut some of this off. So I'm going to cut it down just a little bit because I don't need a big piece. And I don't want to cover up my decorated envelope. So I know I already put Distress ink on that once, but we'll do it again. Okay, so now what I want is I want this piece And I want to adhere it in here. So what I'm going to do is kind of line this up where I want it. And I think I want to put it in the middle. All right, so I'm going to put glue right down this edge. And then it doesn't cover up all the decoration that I made. So here's a way to add an envelope into your journal, making it a journal page. So when we come to this page, it'll just be laying here, and then you can open this up. All right, so we need a card to go inside. Let me see if this one will fit. Hey, I actually had one laying here. I need some distress ink on it. I think I want to use this piece that I had left over. All right, so we're going to add some distress ink to it. So a way to make your own ephemera is what I'm showing you now. So what if we put that across the corner? I have the 1912 script, so it's a big script stamp. And I think I want to use the archival ink again. I don't want to put too much, so you can still write over the top of that. Okay, I like that. Put that over here. All right, put that back here. All right, let me add some distress inks on this edge. And we'll glue that up here. Oh, junk bugs. Hey, Tanya. I sent some links at the beginning that you can look at my Paris themed rubber stamps that I have in my shop, since you were working on a Paris journal. All right, so then I happen to have this piece. It fits right at the bottom. And I'm kind of thinking maybe what I'll do is put it on here just so that it has a secondary pocket. All right, what did I do with it? Really? Ah, found it. Haha! Just smoothing that out. This is another big stamp. This is called France. And I think I'm going to glue this as a pocket at the bottom. That way we can stick a couple of journal cards that I had pre-made inside here. And then you have the back side. See, this is where I was using scraps to write on the back if you want. And then you also have the journal cards that you can write in. So you get this additional writing space. All right, so we'll leave that there. Let's dig in here's my little bin of things that, these are fussy cut elements from the kits. These are journal cards. They're a variety of different things. So let's see, here's from the Enchanted Rose. That would be kind of pretty, wouldn't it, on this page? And then I have, oh, how about this little lady? We'll put her right there. Try not to put it down too far because I don't want it to touch the glue and be stuck. I don't know if that may be too thick. I've got a special thing I want to use, and I haven't decided where I'm going to use it yet. All right, so this journal card is going in here, and we'll just leave the back blank, but I think I want to do one more thing. I'm going to go ahead and use the Eiffel Tower again. And I want to put it, let's put it here. You can ride around it. Right around it. Not ride around it. Right around it. And I've got the little Paris. So I'll stamp that right there. How's that? Oh, wait. One more thing. I've got, I used this earlier. This is Memories. This is one of my stamps. Paris Memories. How's that? Hey, Ada. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, does it need anything else? Does it need to have anything else added to it? We got this on this side. We've got writing space up here. I do have a fleur-de-lis stamp. Maybe I'll stamp it too. We'll just go hog wild with rubber stamps today. I'll put it right there. Okay, that kind of looks like a little stationery, doesn't it? Paris memories. Hey. All right, so I'm going to put that in my folder or envelope, and then this will kind of help keep that closed. So when we come to this journal page, you've got this beautiful embellished page, and then you flip it over and you've got this beautiful side, and then you've got our envelope that we decorated with Tattered Angels and stencils and rubber stamping, and we used a napkin. I used a torn piece of a digital print. So we used a little bit of everything on here. All right, let's put a little pocket here, and I'm just going to cheat. Prior to the start of this, I used I think this is Letters from Home, and I stamped it. Then I used my watercolor pencil and kind of drew around the edges of the envelopes. And then I used my watercolor brush and I just kind of painted over those. So that kind of gives you a little bit. I went up into this one a little bit and then went up into that one, left that one. So it kind of looks like I get a little bit of a distressed look. And I was thinking maybe we'll glue this across here, and that can be a little tuck spot. Thank you, Lori, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I like the sepia pad. Yeah, it's a great color. I like the sepia. I like blending them together with the dark too. All right, so I'm going to kind of put it at an angle just a little bit across here. I think this will fit in there. Yeah, it will. All right, so here's what I did. I went to the Library of Congress website and I typed in French map, and it gave me this as an option. This is a map of the present seat of war, and it was from 1993. And it was supposed to be in French, but I just thought it was kind of cool because it already had the fold marks. So I just used my distress ink and really worked on those. And then on the back, I did the same thing. So you could use this as a place to write. You know, yes, it's a map on this side, but you could write all on the back of this. You could even use each square if you wanted independently. So all I did was folded it back up, kind of accordion folded it. Yes, it's not perfect as far as the way it lining up, but do maps ever fold up perfect the second time after you've opened one? So don't forget those resources like the Library of Congress. I went, and I think I said this was from the 1700s. So I just downloaded that image and printed it on my printer. Yeah, so then I thought I would just stick that in there. I think we need a piece of color behind that so that this pops a little bit. So what do I have? I do have this journal card with the little bird. I think that'll work. Just kind of give it a little color and interest. All right, so let's look at some of my other pages real fast. I'll get 3 of them out here. So this is from a calendar. And in fact, I think I still have one. Or I did have. Here it is. My brother picked up a lot of a bunch of things that were left behind that this place was then auctioning off. And it was a calendar from the paralyzed vets that was sent, and it had these beautiful flowers, and then it has the month on the other side. So what I did was I added the Paris, Paris, what did I call it? It is called the Paris ticket fragment, and it says Paris on it. So you wouldn't find it if you type Paris by itself. You have to go through all those stamps. Ticket fragment is this piece. And I just stamped that on there. And on this side, I used one of those tear off notepads. This is from the December Stencil Club. I went in and stenciled that on there. That's part of the half sheet. If I can find it, I had it a minute ago. That's usually how it goes. Oh, here it is. It was turned around. So there's two different patterns on this particular one. And then I stamped it with the small Eiffel Tower and then Paris Memories again. On the inside, I took some of the pages from the Enchanted Rose digital kit that I have in my shop. And I like this toll look. And all I did was print them as 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. And then I trimmed them down to fit on the back side. So you can still see the calendar lines maybe a little bit in there. But now you have a little bit of writing. And I used the Fleur de Lis stamp. So I basically just did a few of those. I am making 3 journal inserts into a Midori cover today. Another thing that I got from the Library of Congress is I searched French dictionary, and this was from the 1600s, and it's a dictionary that has a few pictures in it every once in a while. I did some random stamping using the French correspondence. So this is French script, that's French correspondence. And I just kind of stamped around that outside edge. And then again, this is one of the elements from the kit that got wet right here. But I thought tearing it down to a fragment like that, it makes it kind of look, I don't know, weathered. So I put that there. And then this is from, oh, I forgot to mention this. In the description box, daydreaming. There's some daydreaming tags. There's a kit. There's also a daydreaming 31 days of thanks, I think. They're thankful. That's a pretty kit. I just thought that would be interesting with the bees. And it's just a different texture. This is one of those tear off notepads that are printed. And so I'm using that one. And then on this side, I had a couple in the blues and the pinks, and I decided to leave the French dictionary visible behind washi taped pieces of paper. And then on this one, I made a little envelope. I basically took a scrap of paper and marked where the center was, and then I folded the edges in and overlapped them just a little bit. Then I folded up the bottom about 1/2 inch and mitered the quarters and trimmed off the excess. And then up here, I snipped down just a little bit. So I don't know if you can tell, there's a little bit of a gap, like 1/8 inch. And I folded these pieces to the inside, so you can kind of see they're right there. And then inside, I stamped the Companion Rose and the 1912 in the pink, raspberry pink. And then I just tore a little fragment that said Paris on there. You like that, Julie? Thank you. I am too. I'm tired of winter already. Oh yeah, I'd be sitting on the beach in January. Yeah. I've never been to Paris. Someday. So then I thought this would go down in here. On the front, I have a brand new rubber stamp that this is what it looks like. I haven't fussy cut that corner piece out. And then I just used some watercolor pencils and colored around it. And then I stuck it down as a little tuck spot. It's about 3 1/4 inches in size. And then this is one of Norella's mason jar kits. And I printed the full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper as a 5 by 7 image. And when you do that, it shrinks everything, and it was perfect for that little mason jar. And then I have one of these funky paper clips on my desk, and I put a piece of lace through it and then stitched it so that that knot wouldn't come undone. And I left this undecorated because I like the little angel here. So I'm just going to clip this, and then that way it won't fall off that page. Okay, so that was some of the things that I've done. I also had some dyed paper, and I don't know if this is where I was using, I think, Tattered Angels to dye paper. And then I came back. This is the quilted starburst stencil. I used the large fleur-de-lis. I made little page tabs. I have a rubber stamp, but if you don't, just fold a piece of paper in half. I stamped it. You can't really tell, but I did. And then I used some scraps of fabric and lace and fibers or thread. I don't know if you can see the little threads in there. Thank you, Janice, for your donation. And then I just stitched those on and just kind of kept these relatively simple so that there would be writing space. This is from the Garden Tea Party kit that came in the subscription box, which I do still have some if you would like one. The perfume bottle is by Beeline Designs. I really like these little perfume bottles, and I haven't really used them that much. This one is called Perfume Bottle, and later I'll use this one out of the perfume cube on one of the pages. And then this is my little wild, let's see, bouquet. I think you just put flower bouquet, and I used Paris beside it in the sepia. Here I used the Diamonds with Flair stencil in the background, and I just did the same stamping but did different stencils. All right, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I forgot to count. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I've got 21 pages made. And I want to be a 3 signature journal. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do next. Here is a coffee dyed piece of paper that I use the vining flowers. Thank you so much, Nadine, for your donation. I use the corset again, and this one's called Fashionable Silk Hosiery. And I just thought, you know, even though they're not going to be right next to each other, it'd be kind of fun. I should spray it. I do have some geranium essential oil here. I found this box of essential oils that I guess put away for whatever reason, and I thought, well, I need to use them. They do go bad. I mean, they'll empty out and dry out. So if anybody, when I get my words out, when I'm done with the journal, if you would like some essential oils on the cover, let me know. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of dot it on the inside of the cover. Essential lavender oil. See, there you go. Yeah, so when whoever wins, I'm just going to wait. Here, I had a scrap of paper. Oh, I'm all over the place today because I have exciting things to show you. Last week, we talked about making ephemera books to put our little ephemera in. I use Ziploc baggies a lot, and I was kind of finding that maybe it might be worthy of doing it this way. So here's what I did. I used some transparency film, and I sewed it onto, on this case, a piece of cardstock, and I happen to have a couple left. That's why I used it as a pocket. Then I glued this down on my page to be a pocket. But what I mainly did was I cut just pieces of the transparency, 2 inches by 5 1/4. Using 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. Then I used the best glue ever and made a small bead of glue on the outside perimeter of that plastic. Then I let it air dry so that it was clear. And then I stuck them down where I wanted. Then I went to the sewing machine and stitched all the way around those pockets. Then this was put on the other side by glue. Otherwise, you would have sewn through this pocket. But I just ended up doing things like, these are some of my words. These are Norellas over here. These are the same set. I just print them as different sizes. In fact, what I should do is also print some big ones and put them over here. But I have some of my rubber stamp words over here, like memories. And I've got my tiny postcard that I made. Some of Norella's. This is even says vintage. I've got tiny, tiny words that are from Beeline Designs. It's a whole set that you stamp it once and then you can cut them apart. Oh, you like the pockets? Yeah. Oh, y'all enter the raffle. Oh yeah, straw pocket lavender. And like these, I haven't finished cutting out all of them. These are the Wing Duo, I think it is. And then this is from the Butterfly Beauties Cube. Some of Norella's moths and butterflies. And then this was just from an ephemera pack. And I just thought, well, I'll put that in here. So what I did with this, because I wanted not to see the stitching from the pocket on this side, and I happen to have some text weight paper, I glued that, or sewed these two pieces together, and then I glued the back down so that it would have that full piece. Yeah, I thought the pink made it easier to see, and it didn't need to be decorated because this is more for function. Then here's a whole bunch of butterflies. Some of them are the rubber stamp kind. Many of these are all digitals from Norella. Like this is, you know, an odd piece that I had left over from a project a while back, so I thought, well, I'll just stick that in there. Over here, the corner pieces kind of fit. I thought I could also, you know, I've got a few Dragonfly journal cards that I could pop in here. And then I would have those all handy. Some more Dragonfly bits. And then here's some colored and stamped. And then some bee stuff. And then over here, I haven't quite filled them all in yet. I started putting in birds. And I think, yeah, some of my faux postage and flowers. So that's kind of what I've been doing. It was simple too. It didn't take me very long. I recommend no more than 5 folded sheets of paper in a journal this size. What I do plan to create is a Midori style cover so that I can put them in there, and then I'm going to put labels on the front of each one with a tab so that when I go through my Midori cover and I flip to it, it would say birds, flowers, butterflies, dragonflies, words, you know, so that way I would be able to figure that out. But this was 1, 2, 3. Oh, maybe I didn't even use 3. I used 3. That's right. I forgot. I took it down. I thought I used 5. I think I started with 5. 1, 2, 3. And you can see how full that already looks. And this one, I haven't even added anything to it yet, really. And it's already kind of fluffy. Yeah, yours are stuffed. Well, and maybe that'll help me use more of my stuff. I don't know. I've got things everywhere. Like here, I've got a little baggie of Alice in Wonderland items. Here are some labels. So I'm like, I've got things in too many places. So this was a scrap. Did some rubber stamping. I layered the Eiffel Tower by stamping it on another piece of paper and gluing it on top. These are some of Norella's postcards. I stamped a little swirly on here and did some stenciling with the small diamond stencil. And over here, I took a book page, I sprayed it with Tattered Angels Glimmer Mists, then I rubber stamped in that same fashion that I showed you on the envelope. I then put a flower in Eiffel Tower and the Paris, and then made just a little pocket. Uh-oh, don't let me say I glued this down. There it goes. It was just barely stuck. Here's another one of the pages. So this page got wet, but I thought it was enough skewed that if I put a piece of fabric and stitch some lace on it, that would prevent that from being seen. And then I just used some random scraps, a couple of some items I had from the Daydreaming and the Enchanted Rose kit. And this is from the Paris kit here and there. All right, so I said 21, right? So if we make, let's make another page, maybe 2, maybe 3. I did find this map, and I have a piece of wallpaper. So I think what I want to do is, let's look at this piece of wallpaper. All right, it's longer than 11 inches, so I want to cut it down to 11 inches. And it's folded in half, so I'm going to open this up and see how big that is. It's right about 8 inches, maybe a little bit over. I think that's okay. And I've got 2 of them. I could make 2 journal pages. But I'm gonna save it. All right, so this side has nothing really fancy on there, right? So we need to cover it up. I happen to have a page I made when I mopped up. So what if we did that on the back of the wallpaper? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is trim this piece to be the same size. And I'm going to cut them both at the same time because I've noticed there's a little curve here and I don't like it. All right, thank you for that donation, Suzanne. All right. I'm going to go around the edge with some Distress inks. I think we'll sew this to the wallpaper. So I'm going to look at this and see if there's anything else I want to put on the wallpaper side. Now, wallpaper doesn't really take glue. It does not like Aleene's tacky glue. So if we want to put something glued, you will need to make sure you use something like the best glue ever. So I'm going to look at this. I happen to have, it's a little bright, but that might be the thing to do. I'm going to fold this in half. So do we want to put that on this side and put a journal card in there? That might be a little too much for y'all. I happen to have this envelope that has some tool on it. Toll. It has a little piece of stationery inside. You like that mop paper? Yeah, I love the color of pink. That's from the Enchanted Rose. I'm not feeling it 100% there. Yeah, I can sew it down. That's what I'm going to do, is sew it. I'm trying to see if there's something else. I've got the word Paris. I may make this a vertical band. And what I'll do is we'll glue that onto another piece of paper to make it bigger. I happen to have this piece. All right, so I'm going to cut this. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I want it just to be a little bit bigger, but not wider than my page. So my page is 5.5 inches, so I can't go past 5 1/4 really, but I think that's what I want. And then I'm going to measure this way, and I think 1.5 inches. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the sewing machine in a moment. So I'm getting out the sewing lamp by Giovanna. Thank you. I think what I want to do is add some Distress inks to the edges, and then we're going to stitch these together. All right, if I did this right, and I put this across the page, just in, I am going to be stitching down this side. No, I'm not. Yes, I will. I'll stitch down this way without anything on the back. And then when I put this page on, I'm going to stitch across the top. So that means that I can stitch over here and here, and I'm going to stitch on top here. I don't know if it makes any sense, but we're going to show you how to do it. Let me show you how to do it. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be doing the raffle and I forgot. All right, y'all get in on the raffle. This is another scrap that I stamped. The Paris. Hey, I'm in the zone creating. I'm in the zone. Want some grungy journal time? So here is Paris. So we're going to stitch across the top and the bottom, okay? Then I'll lay it on my journal page and I'll stitch down this side and this side. Does that make sense? Because that way you'll be able to use this as a belly band from top to bottom. I know, raffle time. I'm going to do it after I do some sewing. Because then I have to think about what I want to do for the prize. My lamp that I use over here, I'll show you where you can see it now. That's the back side of my lamp. The lamp that I had there before was black. And I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden I hear pop! And it started to smell really bad. So apparently it blew up. So I had to go find another one. And I kind of like this one better. I hope it's brighter. And maybe it's too bright. All right, we're going to stitch down this. I've got a regular sewing machine, zigzag stitch, regular thread, regular needle. I've got it set on 2 and 2 if you have an electronic machine. Just kind of play with it. I've mentioned this in the past. Get an index card and stitch on it and then write down whatever settings you got that stitch from. That way, when you want to reproduce it, all you got to do is look at your index cards, put them on a little ring, and then put them near your sewing machine. I tend to use the same things over and over on mine. Yeah, it was quite scary. It popped. And then you could smell the burn. I was like, oh, that's not good. So at first I thought it was just the light bulb, that the light bulb blew. So I went and got a different light bulb and put the new light bulb in, and it did not work. And I thought, you know, I think there's something wrong with this fixture. So I threw the whole unit away, and I had to go scramble, and I happened to have one of these here at the house. And so I got it out. All right, so I didn't sew down this edge, but we will in just a moment. And I was like, well, what do I do? And I found one. The rest of them were at my in-laws' house because I was taking some photos of some long guns for them, for my father-in-law. And I was supposed to go right back, but he hasn't let me know that he's got more of them ready. I need to ask him tomorrow if he needs me to come by so I can get the rest of my lights back. All right, so you saw that I stitched. So now this piece is loose here, okay? All right, let's come back over here for a second. All right, I need to do a raffle. So how about, I've got some mop-up papers here. Let's see what else I have. Oh, and I have a journal card. Okay, so here's what we'll do. I've got, this is from the Buffalo Plaid. I was playing around with pinks and blues and teals. So these are just some mop-up papers. Here's where I used one of the stencils on a piece of paper, and that made the void around it when I did a mop-up. This is also a mop-up page. And then I have a mixed media journal card that I made during one of the live streams. And I need to remember about this butterfly digital download. I'm pretty sure I still have it on my shop. And this was a different way of using a stencil. I used the stencil to cut a piece of paper off of gel print to put on top. And this was some stamping. All right, so let's put this right here. I need to get a paper clip so that all sticks together. All right. I don't like this container because I'm always worried I'm going to break my nail when I try to undo it. Undo it! All right, so give me a second. We're going to pick a winner. I have 200 junk bucks, and that winner is Sonia Gray, congratulations. I'll get that added to your account at the end of this live stream. All right, so reset. So we're going to do mop up papers and butterfly journal card and open giveaway. So y'all can enter the raffle. All right, let me get a drink. It's got some tea. Paper clip this together. There, and they don't fall apart. All right, so we have this on this side, and then I don't have anything on here yet, so let's look to see what I've got. Oh, and this is another one of my mop-ups from the box, and I think I want to do something with those today. So, well, oh, I've got this piece. Was this big enough? No, but it'll be big enough this way. That'll go together. Okay. What else do I have here? I have this little piece that says postcard. We could glue that on, and then we could put, got a little journal card, and then we can make a little notepad out of this to stick in there. Let's do that. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stitch across the top here with it loose. Then I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to stitch on top the other three sides, so that'll give me the pocket and get that stitched look. All right. Why are you lagging so bad? I don't know, Julie. All right, we're going back to the sewing machine. Because you're in Australia, it's got to go a long way to get to you. That's why it's lagging, Julie. All right, so I'm just stitching across here, and now I'm going to lay that onto my journal page where I want it. Now you could temporarily glue it into place and then bring it to your sewing machine. So just because I'm not doesn't mean you can't, if that helps you. But I knew that with the wallpaper, it doesn't stick. The glue will just slide right off unless you use a specialty glue. And another way is to sew it. So now, see how it's stitched all the way around there? Okay. You always see the winner along before, because I click a button and it announces it for me, and I'm reading the announcement from the, which you guys see. All right, so I'm going to cut this, which I think needs to be, let's just do 4 1/4. And then I need this to be 2 1/4. All right, so I cut that. So we have these 2 places here, and I think I may end up putting, yeah, like that. And then I need to figure out what I want to put over here. So we're going to put some Distress Inks around this guy real fast. Oh, you need to bake cookies? Well, it's only 4:39 right now, Lori, and normally I stay until 6 p.m. So I think you've got like an hour and 15 minutes at least. Sonia, the junk bucks will be added to your account. So you spoke up in the chat, and so you've got that. And what I'll do is I will go into your account and add them. Actually, what I could do is do it right now. That way you have them. SONA. There you are. And that way you'll have them. So Robin, mark that I gave her her junk bucks. There you go. You got them. And then when you get to 2,000 junk bucks. You can redeem those for a $10 off coupon to my shop. Okay, I'm going to put this across here. Trying to get them all nice and neat. And I'm going to get a paper clip. I think I may get a piece of fabric. All right, so I'm just paper clipping it across the bottom here, just so they'll stay in place. And how about a piece of this purple fabric? I just picked this up when I went to Joann's the other day for Henry. He had a request because he needed some felt for an order. And while I was there, I perused the fabric department. Okay, I like that. So this will be stitched across here, and we'll have this kind of abstract page to write on. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine and stitch right across there. I'm just stitching right across. So now we'll have this little guy that can open up. I don't think it needs any other decoration. I think it's kind of cool just the way that it is. I am going to sew our front and back together. So I'll just line up these edges here. But what I need to do is I want to stitch down this side, this side, this side, and this side. And I just remembered that I usually like to glue a scrap on the back. So I've got a couple of strips of paper here. And I'll come back over here for a second. I'm going to glue these down the sides, and that way it'll make that a little bit thicker, because I'm going to make this a hidden pocket in our journal. And if you're using text weight paper, you don't want it to tear when you stick your fingers in. So I'm just gluing a piece of scrap. I will save things off of my printer that didn't print. I will use crumpled up pieces of paper and save them and do some stamping onto them. All right, I'm letting that sit for a moment. And then what I'll do is I'll stitch the sides of the wallpaper. So I'm going to stitch down this edge and this edge. Get out of the way, man. And then I will stitch down this edge and this edge, and then we'll stitch these together. Does that make sense? Are y'all following me? Is it too bright? I may need to change the light bulb, because when I first turned it on, it seemed like, oh, that's going to be dull. I can't, maybe I can diffuse it a little bit. Is that a little better? How about, is that better? Maybe that's better. Because it's pretty bright. Yeah, if your edges are tearing, then here is a solution. Glue down another piece of paper so that your edges don't tear. The wallpaper is pretty sturdy, so I'm not worried about it. Okay. I am going to sew down the center spine, but I think I'm going to do it after I glue the page together. And the reason being is so that I don't have to sew it twice. I can sew it all at once. So we'll do this edge. Maybe we'll do a I'll find a little image or something to glue on to, maybe do some stamping. You want to make sure that when you put that piece of paper on, it had time to dry, because if you try to sew wet glue, your paper will tear. All right, so you see we've got our stitches here. So now I'm just going to lay this in together, line these up, and we're going to stitch right across the bottom here. You can also use heavier paper so you don't have to reinforce it, but I like using the lighter papers when I can, because you can end up adding so much bulk that you can't put as many pages in. All right, so I want to complete the look on the page where we have stitching going down this edge. So I've just folded my page so I can kind of see my crease there. And I'll use it as my guide and stitch right beside it. If you can't see that edge, you can always put a little bit of distress ink on it. See how that makes a difference by putting that edge on there versus it's not on the inside? All right, so I'm going to stitch down this edge. All right. We did some sewing. Oh my goodness, the sewing. Soup and cookies. Yum, yum. All right, so this is going to go in here. I like that. I like the stitches on the inside. That make it kind of cool. This almost becomes its own standalone thing. Look here to see if... Nope, that won't fit. It's too big. It won't fit in the slot. Ah, but this one will. So we have the Paris in front, that peeking out the back. So I need something for on here. I happen to have some more of these postcards. So I'm testing it. It kind of comes out a little bit, but it's actually pretty snug in there. So I think I don't need to put something down here on the bottom, but if you did, you could always add a little piece of ephemera across the bottom here, but you would have to glue it because we should have sewed it on earlier. I think it'll be fine though. All right, so let's look on the inside. This is the envelope. So maybe if I put it at a diagonal right here in the corner. And what else do I have? Oh, I have from, this is from the Enchanted Rose kit. What if I put that across here? Or maybe the wildflowers. No, I think it's Enchanted Rose, because I've got more Enchanted Rose pieces. I think I'll put that across there. But I do have, oh, I have a little bicycle. Oh, that's kind of cute if I layer those together with the bicycle in front. Okay, I think it needs a little something behind the bicycle. What if I backed it with this? Only because the bicycle's got fragile pieces on there. So if I take this about the same height. So I just folded this edge down. Now, do I want, yeah, I think like that, or do I want to do this? No, I think I like it this way. I'll add some distress inks to this edge, and we'll have it going at an angle. You love the little bicycle? That's from the Bike Duo from Beverly at Beeline Designs. All right, so I'm going to add some distress inks to these edges. And let's see, does it need to have some stitches added to it? And then I add, yeah, I think so. So let's get out the Shabby Stitches stamp set, which I just saw a minute ago. Here we go. And I've got, it looks like stitches. Rubber stamp. And we'll do that in sepia. No, I'm going to use the black because we did the black there. And we're just going to stamp across the page. Like that. Hey, Kat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Add a little glue right there. See how that looks different with the stitches? I like that. All right, so I'm going to glue down the bicycle from the Bike Duo. This is the girls' bike. The girls' bike dips down because they wore skirts. Oh, I dropped it. When they rode bicycles or dresses, so that the dress wouldn't hang up, they had made this so that it could tuck it in there. Okay. I was just noticing that I didn't get distress ink on that edge, so I'm just using my pencil there. And I think I got the wrong color, but that's all right. Yeah, I think I want to do it like that. I could put it like that. Well, now I'm thinking like that. What do you think? I have to rethink stuff. I think I may do it that way. So it just kind of gives it a little interesting piece. So I kind of tucked it underneath. So I'm just going to add glue on the back side here. Did I give y'all a chance to respond before I just did it? And I'm going to glue that over in this corner. So this was text weight paper, but since I folded it over, it gave me a little bit of a lip. Not talking back, just have a area that holds them. All of them were cute. Okay, thank you. Okay, so maybe the Paris fragment, which is actually called Ticket. What did we call it? Ticket fragment. There we go. Oh, I already had some little words stamped earlier. What if we did memories like that? Oh, and I also have a tiny postcard. I'm just adding all kinds of stuff here. I think I'm going to layer that on top. So it looks like the bicycle's transporting the... Yeah, I do have a couple of mason jar stamps from Beeline Designs in my shop. All right. Paris, kind of do it at an angle. I didn't use this card earlier, but it would fit back there when you round the corners. This was a scrap leftover that's going to be used on the inside cover. Okay. Use those scraps. What if we put a little piece of fabric on here? I've got this crazy pink, maybe this floral. All right, so I'm going to get a little piece of fabric. We're going to go to the sewing machine, and I'll just kind of ruffle stitch this right here across that corner. If you get a coupon today, today's December the 13th, usually I set them up to expire by January the 6th. If you need it longer, just tell me. And I can either issue a different coupon code or I can extend it just a little bit. So I just stitched a little piece of fabric across there. Lamb Cam's getting his workout. Oh, see that? I think that looks cute with the little ruffle of fabric there. And let's get a journal card. Here I've got this rose journal card. So that'll kind of stick out there. All right, so what do we want to put over here? And remember, I haven't put anything in here, but there's a pocket there that you can put things in. All right, so we got this side. I don't want to do the same thing over and over. We want to keep doing something different. But I do have this lavender. I have the rose, and I'm thinking I'm leaning towards the rose. I know y'all always are like, Linda, use a doily. So what if we painted this doily a different color? I'm going to go with a teal, kind of the peacock color, because that's kind of some of the kit colors. It's a soft teal. I think that's royal peacock. Thank you, Sam. Ooh, hot chocolate would be good. All right. Yeah, January 6th, Raven. Generally, I don't know why I picked that date. Sometimes I'll extend it a little bit longer if you need it. Okay, I kind of like, see how this now is going to have the blue behind there. Pretty, pretty, pretty. All right, let's add some distress inks. And if you want it darker, add more color. Choose a different color. I like adding just a little bit of distress ink to that. I don't know, it just kind of helps bring the shadows up. All right, so I want to put this here so that this piece is glued down. So I'm going to dot some glue here in the middle. Kind of go around the edge. All right, so we want it to where it peeks out just a little bit. I always end up putting my hand down and getting the glue on my hand, so I thought that might be easier if I did it with the stamp block. You don't want to rub it too much because those doilies are so delicate. We don't want it to tear. So I did sewing today. We put a napkin on a page. And the lady in the box is ding-donging at me again. Like making snowflakes, making her own doily. Yeah, there you go. Blow. All right, so I'm going to glue this down on this corner. We're trucking right along. I kind of like having this little ephemera book. Maybe we can do Bloom. And I have the word Paris out here. And I have a little scrap of paper. Let's see what it looks like. If we don't like it, I don't have to use it. I have another scrap. I'm going to use this scrap. Let's see what happens. So I just kind of tore a little piece. Maybe like that. Down here on the bottom. Oh, you're buying Glimmer Mists every paycheck. Okay, okay. Gotcha. I'll be shipping out tomorrow a bunch of orders and prizes. I've been behind. I've not felt really well. I've had a headache now for a couple of weeks. Today is better because I took a bunch of Benadryl this morning. I think I want a little bit of French script. French correspondence. Just for the... So it's not so stark that... Yeah. Alright. Now I'm going to put the little Paris down. Maybe. You have so many doilies, it's ridiculous. You also have a doily die. Well, use them. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Lori. It's been awful. Henry's like, are you okay? So finally he went and bought a home purifier, air purifier. And I've been cleaning the house and dusting. Oh, let's do this. So in the Paris kit is this little envelope. And it comes with some journal cards. I'm pretty sure that's Dreams of Paris. Or Take Me to Paris. Maybe Take Me to Paris. Maybe Dreams of Paris. And this is a rubber stamp. This is Trois Femmes. Or Trios. T-R-O-I-S. F-E-M-M-E-S. And I stamped that there. I thought that was kind of cute. No, my ears aren't popping and making noises. It's just been allergies really bad. Okay, I think that kind of gives us a nice little bundle in there, don't you? All right, so let's make one more something. I've moved some things around. I'm thinking... I had a book page. All right. So this is a dictionary page that I trimmed down just a little bit. So it's not the full 8.5 by 11. It's just slightly smaller. Just because I wanted some variety in the pages to, even though I normally make all my pages all the exact same size, I thought, well, this time it'd be kind of interesting to be able to flip the pages and you get that different varying heights of papers throughout the journal. And I think what I want to do first is let's spray this with Tattered Angels. So I've got the Royal Peacock here. Shake it up really well. And I think I'm going to mix it. So I'm going to pick up the Enchanted Rose. It'll turn into purple where the two touch together. Yeah, I'll be ready for them to open Australia back up too. All right, and then let's dry this, and I'll flip it over and we'll spray the other side. I'm eating some pretzels. I don't know if y'all can hear me crunching away at them. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to switch colors. This is that pretty pink. It's not as dark. There. And let's dry that. Nope. Put it here. Woo, woo. Got some junk bucks winners. Did y'all have a good weekend? I worked. I've added a few new stamps to the shop. I'll be adding more. Got ready for today. I started on the next kit, which is going to be a wild and free bohemian style. So I've already put together the little bead charm packets already. I've got the fabric strips that you're going to get with that kit already torn. So now I've got to cut the fibers. I'm trying to get it done as quick as possible because of our vacation that we're going to take in January. I don't want to be running home rushing on things. So I'm trying to do a little bit every few days. I'm still designing the chipboard pieces for the kit. Trying to decide what I want shape-wise, which we're going to do like arrows. And I think I've got a dream catcher. All right, I think this is dry. I want it to be dry because I plan to stamp on it. You like pretzels too? What? This got. I have to wait for the mother load. Chomp, chomp, chomp. All right, dictionary page. My paper's not big enough. I trimmed off of it. No, it's been cut off too. All right, so I've got that. Let's add some stenciling. Ooh, I like the stencil. This is from the December Stencil Club. And I think I'm going to do Mermaid Lagoon. Let's look at it. Oh yeah, that'll be good, won't it? Just a little subtle pattern. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just kind of putting it in a few spots. And maybe down here. Just kind of a couple of different spots, and you can probably barely see it, but I like it. It'll show it more on this side because it's lighter. I didn't spread as much Tattered Angels. Yeah. Tattered Angels sprayed. That was Mermaid Lagoon, if you wanted to know what color I'm using. All right, maybe right here. There we go. Just kind of adding a little bit of subtle patterns. I think now what I want to do is I want to stamp. So I've got the Eiffel Tower here. I'm going to stamp it kind of in the middle. So it'll be on the background back there. Let's do it one more time. So it's in a different spot. Okay, so now I'm going to swap that out. Swap it out! That's different than cut it out. And, oh, I've got the, oh, I dropped it. This is that giant fleur-de-lis. We'll stamp it in black. Like that. Maybe kind of coming off the page. Just kind of making my own background paper. And this is the larger plaquettes, large. I mean, I'm just doing it to add interest to the page. So it kind of reminds me of those old newspaper magazines. All the ads in them. I think we can get away with this one too. So that one is magnesium, M-A-G-A-S-I-N-S. De Meubles. I don't know, something. The differences in the page colors. I kind of like that. Even though I'm doing the same technique on either side, the little bit of difference in that color. Okay, I think that works. Put this back where it belongs. Back where you belong. On that piece of paper. Alright. I happen to have some little pieces here. So here's another page that got wet. So I think what I want to do is kind of I don't know. I just want a little bit of something. Oh, I've got these. How about if we did this? And I can do some decorating on that. I know it covered up my Eiffel Tower. Maybe I'll move it over here. May not even need that other piece. I think that'll work. All right, so let's add some distress inks and we'll add these to there. Then I've got to work on the cover. I've lingered too long on this project. So I'm going to do 4 of these on the page and then add some embellishments around them. You know what? Sometimes you don't use all the things, and that's okay. You can change your mind. It is your project, your journal that you're making. Okay. I buy these little tear-off sheets whenever I go to the dollar store and I see that they have them. Alright, so we've got this little piece. So, I think if I grab the... It's a little too pink. Maybe Dusty Concord. And... Ooh. This is the Spiraling Vine from Beeline Designs. I got a little scrap of paper here. So I don't really care if it's not perfect. I just want a pattern. All right. See how that's just a subtle little pattern? So it doesn't have to be super dark. Don't feel like, oh, I didn't get a good stamping. And I'm using Dusty Concord. Ooh, I like that. That one turned out pretty good. So your mind's so fickle, it's hard to get it to listen to yourself sometimes. Well, it happens, and that's okay. All right, put that aside. And I'll clean my stamp later. I'm just not going to take the time right now. All right, so we got those. I think I'm just going to glue this down so you kind of see the stuff in the background. Gives us some writing space. Doesn't add too much bulk. Oh, I hate to cover this one up, but I'm going to. I'm just going to put it down here. Okay. And then let's put one right here. I got to concentrating. I'm going to clean off my desk and we're going to work on the cover here in just a moment. All right, just kind of moving a few things out of the way. Things I changed my mind about that I don't want to use right now. I'm also going through to see what I have left on my desk that I might want to use. Okay, let's put this one up higher. I think we could get the little Eiffel Tower stamp out and use it. I've also got the fleur-de-lis here. Yeah, let's do the little. Here's the little Eiffel Tower. Little Eiffel Tower. I can stamp that there. Maybe this up here. Put that over. I'll stamp it on the line so it looks like kind of on the line. And maybe right there. Just adding a little decorative touch. Okay. Putting away some stuff because what I want to do now is make 3 journals, and then we're going to make a journal cover. To hold all of it. So these are my covers that are going to go inside my Midori style journal. So now what I want to do is kind of look at my pages here. I know I have 3 of those. And as I'm looking at them, I'm trying to decide, okay, what would be a good center page? Like these are some smaller pages. Oh, where did this fall out of? Okay. And these go there. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Put 1, 2. I think that should be in the center. Some of the pages I just added some fabric down the edge. This one I made a pocket. I think that could go in the center of a journal. And let's put this one in the center. 1, 2, 2. I was trying to put them in groups of 3 so that I kind of see what I have, and when I go to put this together, how I want it to kind of layer out, if you will. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 pages that'll go in each signature. I could have made more pages, but I decided that that isn't what I wanted to do. And I'm starting with something different this time. I've got a short page that I'm starting with. And then I'll have my next page. And then here's a page. Thank you so much, Norella, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You need more Paris kits. I've already picked one out. Go to the same place that I send you links to and look up Paris in Springtime font. And I want you to make a kit that looks like that outer area that she used to decorate her font page. All right, so that's going to be one journal, okay? So I'm going to set that aside. And then we're going to do this again. So this page is shorter. So this is going to have a whole completely different look for a Linda journal. With the short and the small and the tall and the big. Thank you, Norella. I've been meaning to send that to you because I thought, I think she would like this. And then this would be the center of this journal. All right, last one. So again, a short page in the front. I'm going to swap these with this one. Because I want it to be taller. And then this guy. And then this one. Ah, come on. I gotta hurry to make the cover. And I'll go through the whole journal at the end. I kind of showed you some of the elements. Okay, I like that with that layered. Oh, good. Yeah, what kind of ephemera do you like to see in your journal kits, everybody? Love to know. Speak up in the chat. And let Norella know. For example, I know it's been requested that she make a pop-up card. Lori says she likes envelopes and pockets and tickets and tags. Julie likes corner pockets. Thank you, Suzanne, for your donation. Thank you, Norella. Thank you, Suzanne, Nadine, and Janice. Thank you all for your donations. I greatly appreciate it. All right, so I've just got a little template here. My other template fell apart, so I'm eyeballing this one. And we're going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And then what I'll do on my cover is we will have a Midori style cover so you can take these journals out. And remember, if you win one of my journals, you feel more than free to take the journal apart, add more pages, do what you want with it. once it's in your possession. Just can't photocopy it and try to sell those. I hopefully got all the pages because I failed to go back in and really make sure. But I think we'll be all right. All right. I got that first one done pretty quick. I'm going to leave the tails long. If y'all want to add charms, you can. So there's the first journal. It's got some lace bits in it. Look, yeah. All right, these are centered pretty much. So I'm just going to put my giant paper clip on here. I need some thread. This is a new spool. I finally used up the last spool. So I got to open the new one. Okay. Just threading my needle so that's ready. Use my template again. What other things do y'all want to see? Bird, butterflies, faux stamps. You love petting journals? Yeah. Envelopes. Envelopes, pockets, close. I'm open for ideas. Where do you buy inexpensive trinkets for dangles? I should be mailing them out tomorrow and Wednesday, Giovanna. I've been behind on mailing stuff out. Tomorrow and Wednesday, I'll be mailing things. And you don't feel good. I'm trying to work when I can and take allergy medicine. I'll go lay down for a little while. And I get up and work on something else till my eyes start to hurt again. And I'm like, okay, my head hurts again. I need to switch what I'm doing. All right, we're doing a pamphlet stitch here. Aida, thank you so much for your donation. Thank you. Okay. Test it out. I haven't really got out of the house much either. I did get out. When did I come see you? Saturday, Robin? Yeah, Saturday I got out. Then I came home and I was ready to take a nap. All right, last one, and then we're going to make a cover. I'll have to make it quickly. All right, where's my template? Template. Hole puncher. This one's got all kinds of lace sticking in it. Fabric. I was trying to use all kinds of things. Okay. Oh, and I've also been working on some tutorials. So I've been getting some samples made so that when I do the tutorial, I can go right through it, and then at the end, I can show you some different concepts, same technique, so to speak. Maybe different themes. I'm about to lose my paper clip, but I'm not going to stop to adjust it. All right, let's make sure this is tight. So it is. And that's tied off. So I tried to do different techniques so that when you're flipping through this journal, you're going to see different pages. not necessarily repeated like I normally do on everything. Oh yeah, Suzanne gave $10, and then she also gave $5. Thank you, Lori, for your donation. Thank you, Ada, Suzanne, Norella, Suzanne again, Nadine, Janice, Lori, Robin, and Margie. All right, so there's the second one. All right, so I've got 3 journals inserts that are going to go into a Midori style cover. So I've got some pieces here. I was trying to decide how big, so it got lace on the edges, how big I wanted it. So I made it a little bit bigger than I make most of my Midori covers. This one is going to be 1 3/4 inch deep. All right, so I'm looking at all this, and I think I'm come down to that I don't like these, that I only like this one. So I'm trying to decide. So that'll go on here. I'm kind of deciding how I want to position this, because I've got this piece that I want to put over the top of it, but I want to make sure that I'm in the position that when I put this on, it's not wrapping to the inside. I think I like that. You like that? Isn't that lacy chunk pretty? All right, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put a couple of dots of glue on here. Okay, so I'm going to stitch around this edge here. And I know that as the journal, this is basically what you're going to see is this little bit. Okay? And I think that's plenty. Yeah, just use those paper pads. You like that? Okay, so I'm going to stitch around that. I may get another piece of lace. I went past, so I've decided not to back up. Just into stitching. And I like that it leaves those little threads. One of my friends that quilts, she's like, Linda, you should cut those threads because it drives me crazy seeing them. So, but I like the threads. Now, granted, I wouldn't want it on a quilt or on a garment that I wore, but on my junk journals, I like the little threads. Okay. Let's go back over here. Okay, I know that I want to stitch this piece down as a rectangle and then put this piece down, but I don't want it too close to this edge. I'm also contemplating maybe putting a little piece of lace back here. Ooh. You know, I hardly ever use lace. I could put that behind there. Where's my... Okay. And then I found this little piece. Oh, thank you, Tanya, for your donation. You love the color. Thank you so much. All right, and then I was going to put this piece and sew it right on top. Yeah? All right, so what I want to do is before I place this on, I want to make sure I'm putting it in the right spot. So I have chipboard here. If you buy my chipboard, you want to use 2 pieces cut, stacked on each other, glued together. I happen to have some thicker stuff, not very many sheets, but I get it because of the film I use for the stencils. All right, I'm looking at this to see if I've got it somewhat. All right, am I back? Can y'all see me? I'm reloading the chat bot. Am I back? Am I back? I'm waiting on the chat bot. My computer locked up. I hope y'all are still with me. All right. Anyone there? Anyone there? Yay! Ta-da! And you didn't have to go anywhere. Yay! Okay, cool. Good, good. Okay. Oh my goodness. I look up and my computer is froze and I tried to use my mouse and it wouldn't go. And I was like, really? So I just hit the off button on my computer and rebooted. And I was able to click on a button to get it started again. It didn't lose our place, so to speak. All right, so I'm going ahead and I'm gluing down the fabric. Then I'll flip it back over and I'll put my journal card in place. And basically what I did was, one of the pages that I made using Norella's kit that got wet, she had this on a page, and I went to my computer and I cropped that little image out because I wanted another one to put in the journal on a page I'll show you in a little bit. And I kind of liked how that turned out, so I printed extras. So remember, you could crop images out of the digitals so that you can resize them and use them however you like. I've done that a few times. Yes, it does take a little bit of computer knowledge, but generally we can get around. All right, so this will be the front cover, and then this piece is going to go right about there. We're going to put this over the corner, so I'm going to move it up a little bit. Okay, and I know I want to put this piece of lace behind here. So what I'm going to do is glue this down a little bit in the middle, not where I'm going to sew, and line it up there. I mean, I know it covered up some of our fabric, but I think this is just what I want the look to be. And I'm going to stitch right down this edge around here and here and here, and then I'll throw this back up here and I may stitch that into place. I don't know. I don't want to change. I don't want to use the black thread on there. I may glue this down. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue it. So while I'm getting my sewing ready, I'm going to put some of the best glue ever on the back of this, because it has a tendency that once it dries, it sticks really well. And I can mix it with the Aleene's tacky glue because this will be dry, hopefully by the time we're done sewing around our journal cover. And I can use the two together. All right. I don't usually squeeze my bottle of glue like that, but since when I'm in a hurry, I squeeze it tight. Okay. Thank you so much, Sam. Thanks for coming here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stitch around this piece. I'm going to stitch all the way around the outside edge, okay? This kind of has a vintage feel to it, doesn't it? Woohoo! You got 4 weeks off. Yay for you. All right, I think what I'm going to do is start over here. So I guess I could be in picture so you could see me. All right, I'm going to stitch down this edge. That's a Paris cancellation stamp that I put on top of Norella's image. And I am sewing on some pretty thick chipboard, so it takes some work sometimes to get it. I think I'm going to... Nope, that's not going to work. Okay. I'm going to turn it this way. Sometimes you gotta maneuver. And then I need to do across the top here. So let's go this way. All right. I don't know that we need to tie it shut, but we'll look at it here in just a moment. All right, so this isn't quite dry yet. I'm going to stick these in here for a second. That's about how fluffy it'll almost just, if you put it this way, of course it's going to gator mouth, but if you lay it down, it doesn't shut all the way. So I'm thinking maybe we'll make a little tie while I'm waiting on that to dry. I have this purple. I think that would work as a pretty little tie. So I'm just going to cut this in half. And because I used it inside the journal. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I haven't sewn around that outside edge yet. So I'm going to take this piece and glue it in here. And then I'll come over here about the same height. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to go all the way around this outside edge, and that'll help sew my fabric in place. And then we'll put our lace on top. You like that? Just for the variety. I could have used the pink fabric again, pink and gray, but I think I like the variety. All right, so let's stitch down here. And I wanted these stitches behind that lace piece so we didn't deter from that look. I'm going to move my sewing machine over a little bit. I'm a sucker for these small prints that I use in my fabric. This was one I bought probably a couple of years ago because I was going to make a quilt using different shades of browns, and this was one of them. And now that I make my own journal covers, I'm like, ooh, that would be a pretty base. All right, gotta go down one more side. How are we doing on time? All right, we're doing pretty good. All right. Back over here. Back to the beginning again. All right, so my glue isn't quite dry yet. I think I'm going to hit it with a heat tool though. Then I'm going to add a few drops of Aleene's in here with the other glue. And then let's line this up. I like that. I think it needs one more thing. Oh, your sewing lamp went to sleep. You love the floral purple fabric? Just adding a little touch to that. I think it needs another little something right here. So, I don't know. That's too much. I was trying to see if I could find something that... Nope, that doesn't go. Do we want the word journal across here? I think we do. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got this little piece of ivory. And we're going to get the word journal. As soon as I find the one I want. I got the one that I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Thank you, Ruby Lily, for your donation. I'm going to stamp the word journal right in the middle. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the Paris Collage and Distress Oxide Picked Raspberry. I'm going to grab a scrap of paper. Again, I want a second scrap. Here we go. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay this piece of paper right over the word journal, okay? Then I'm going to ink up the picked raspberry, and knowing that this is the right side. Okay, I'm going to flip this around. It's a little trick to make a frame. All right, so I need to turn my stamp over. How's that? Kind of gives a little bit of pink. Now, let's edge that with pink. So, I don't have a sponge on there. That's the purple. Oh, pink's up here. There it is. All right. I'm just going to go around that edge. And I'm kind of coming in just a little bit. So I'll have that fade. Okay, you see that with the pink? And then let's